Journaling can be a powerful tool or a complete waste of time, depending on how you do it. Back when I started my journey to getting better years ago, journaling was one of the first things that I tried. To be honest, I thought it was going to be a complete waste of time, and I had no idea where to start. I was so disconnected from the part of me that would really write anything meaningful and receive any real benefit. Now, if you've researched journaling at all, I guarantee you've come across gratitude journaling. Of course, that was the first thing I tried. But to be honest, I was so heartbroken. My heart was so closed at the time. I was so disconnected from feeling much gratitude for anything. I knew I was in my head all the time, but I knew I was smart and that I could figure out a way. So eventually, I came up with this method, which I call monologue. I'm going to share with you now. Before we get into it, please like this video. It really helps me share this with more people who need to hear the message. So go ahead and take out a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil or a spreadsheet. I used to do this in a spreadsheet. I'll put a picture of how I used to do it somewhere in this video. And we're going to dive into it. I've got my iPad here. I'm going to draw it out for you guys, and we're just going to follow along. So, the goal here with this monologue approach of journaling is to figure things out about yourself. It's not to just pour your heart out into a piece of paper. It's not to just write down 3 quick bullets of things you're maybe gratitude or you're grateful for, and then close your journal and walk away, right? The goal is to be curious about yourself, to do some self inquiry, and to build awareness about yourself. Because as you start to pull things out of your psyche, that is where we can do real work and unstick the things that are stuck. This is where we can make forward progress. This is where we can find why we are the way we are, where our behavioral and thought patterns are coming from. So, if you are curious to learn more about yourself, then thank you. Please keep watching. And if you're not, I've really got nothing for you. You got to be curious to learn about yourself, why you are the way you are, so you can shift out of the ways that you don't like being and you can start cultivating and manifesting the best version of you that you know you can be. Real quick, why am I moving? I'm on a walking treadmill. I love this desk. It's absolutely fantastic. Got to stay healthy. So, to build this awareness, we are going to do a little bit of digging. Now, this monologue approach to journaling is not something that I see a lot of people do. I've only had one therapist out of the many therapists I've had actually do a process even remotely similar to this. So you can do this on your own. It's very safe. I wish more therapists did this. I don't know why they don't. I think they're scared of digging in, really digging into your psyche to really find things and see what's going on. Every therapist is different. I don't know. The one that did this for me, I wish I kept him. So with this approach, you're going to learn how to dive into your own mind and your own psyche. It's a super powerful tool. I teach it to all my clients, and I'm going to give it to you here now in this video. All right, so we've got the iPad here. I'm going to go through a very basic example. So how do you start? You start this by drawing 2 columns down a piece of paper. Now, we are going to write on the left side, we're going to write me. This is your voice. Did I say right? I meant left side if I said right. And on the right side, we are going to write inner me. And I'm going to explain all this in a minute. So this is going to be a very basic example just to kind of demonstrate how this process works. So really what's going on here is the left side is our conscious mind and the right side is more of our subconscious mind. So we're going to ask questions on the left side from our conscious mind, and we're going to listen for the answers that our subconscious mind gives us, and then we're going to write those down. So we're going to start with a very important question. You want to start off this way. We're going to start off with a question, right? What's on my mind? What's on my mind? And now we listen. So the first question here is what's on my mind? And I'm going to answer it in this example, but I'm going to answer it honestly, right? Just me in the moment right now. I'm trying to make a great YouTube video. Getting close to the edge of the iPad. It's hard to write. Okay. What's on my mind? I'm trying to make a great YouTube video. Okay. Next question is, why am I thinking that? Am I thinking that? What's on my mind? I'm trying to make a great YouTube video. Why am I thinking that? I'm thinking that because I want to help people and give value to my viewers, helping them become, whoops, don't need an eraser, helping them become the best version of themselves. Feel free to speed up this video. I know it takes time because I'm writing this all out. It helps to write it all out though, right? So as you start this, whether you type it or you actually write it, it's also cool to go back and see later. So, okay. The next question, and it's not always this exact order of questions, but you want to have this conversation. So what's on my mind? I'm trying to make a great YouTube video. Why am I thinking that? We're being curious about ourselves. Why am I thinking that? Because I want to help people and help them become the best version of themselves. Okay, cool. So that's a decent answer. So now the next question is going to be, where does that thought come from? Where does that thought come from? And you listen for the answer. And I'm going to listen for the answer and I'm going to say, this has always been a part of me. I've wanted to support people for as long as I can remember. And that right there is good clarity. That right there is already telling me something about myself and who I am, a core belief of mine, something that I've had since I was young. All right, so let's do another example. So I'm going to draw a line on that one. We're going to start a new one here. If my pencil will change. Boom. So again, we have me and we have the inner me. And we're going to start the same way. What's on my mind? This time I'm trying to write while I'm walking on the treadmill. It's going to be fun. All right. This is one that definitely hits home for me a lot. So, what's on my mind? Okay. I can't stop thinking about this girl. Stop thinking. Or this guy, could be a woman watching this, thinking about this girl, this woman, this lady. What's on my mind? I can't stop thinking about this girl. I can't stop thinking about this person, right? Rumination, worry. My mind is so attached. Can't stop thinking about this person. So let's ask another logical question. Just a curious question. Like, okay, why? Why am I thinking about her so much? Why am I thinking about her so much? And you listen for your answer, right? What comes up? When I think of this from when I used to do this in the past, then the person I'm thinking of, it's because I really like her. This is what I was thinking back then. I really like her. She's exciting and has everything I'm looking for in a person. Now, here's another question is when was the first time I had this thought? It's like, okay, when was the first time I thought this thought? I think my handwriting is definitely worse on the iPad. When was the first time I had this thought? And then, you listen, And as you write it out, you're kind of giving yourself time to think. You're giving your subconscious time to process, and you're giving yourself the opportunity to listen to what a deeper part of you has to say. So many people don't do this. We're just surface level on autopilot all the time. But this really works. So, when was the first time I thought this thought? Probably back in middle school. Probably back in middle school. Maybe sooner than that. Maybe earlier. Earlier than that. But they were crushes. Okay. So then I'm going to ask, how does that thought make me feel? I feel excited. We're going on to the other side here, the inner me. I feel excited. Excited. Right? Exclamation point. Like convey what you're feeling, convey the actual answer with the energy behind it onto the paper. I feel excited. Exclamation point. I can envision the possibilities. I'm just going to say the possible future we have together. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go one more. Why do I get so excited? Again, curious. Why do I get so excited? Answer here. Because I think I'll be happy with her. Think I'll be happy with her. And right here is where we're going to stop this one because as a man, this is a dangerous thought to have. You're putting your happiness in another person. For anybody, putting your happiness in another person, you're putting all your control in that other person, right? The control of your happiness in somebody else. You're not taking responsibility for your own happiness. So as you go down your personal healing, your personal growth, your self-improvement journey, you start to realize the things that are kind of core concepts and that are repeated. And so realizing that, oh, I'm putting my happiness in someone else's hands. You start to realize, oh, that's maybe something I want to work on, right? I think I'll be happy with her might be, everyone's different. This is an example. You start to find these core beliefs that are driving your thoughts, are driving your behavior. As you do this, you start to realize why you've been the way you've been. You start to realize the things that are fueling your actions and your behaviors. And this is when you can start to build that awareness to then change it because you have to have awareness before you're going to change something, before you're going to work on something. So that is why we do this. So overall, I think that journaling should be productive. A stream of consciousness might work for some people. It didn't work in my case. So if that's something that works for you, great. If you've tried that and you're looking for something else, I think this is such a good framework that can help you structure what to write down and actually get to something where you've made progress on building that awareness in yourself. It is such a simple approach to help you deliver insights on what you actually want to work on later. This is the framework to do it. I call it monologue. It's a simpler version of things that I teach my clients to help them dive in and figure out exactly what's going on. So if you've done this for a little while, or you want help in getting to the next level, then there's a link in the description below. Find it, click it, put some time on my calendar, and we'll take it from there. If you've done a lot of this work already, or you've tried the exercise and you're coming back, and if you're still overthinking, if you're ruminating, I'm going to explain more about how to shift that in this video right here.